Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn, with Jocelyn, and I am so grateful that you are here, that we are sharing this space together. Even if it's just digital, we're still exchanging vibrations. Um, so I'm really grateful for that, and the simple fact that you came across this video and clicked on this video says that you are someone who cares about being intentional with your life, and I think that that's really beautiful. To know that you are curious about how moon cycles affect your life. Um, so I think that that's really beautiful, and I just wanted to share that. But I'm really excited to share these 8 journal prompts with you that I created specifically for this Aquarius new moon that is happening on February 11th. You may have seen my last video for the Leo full moon that we had recently, where I shared journal prompts for that full moon, and I mentioned then what I'm going to mention now, that I am not an astrologer myself, okay? But I am a very intuitive guide. I am an energy reader. I am a healer, and I have been journaling literally for my entire life. So I know a thing or two about journaling. But what I do for every full moon and every new moon is I will go to my favorite astrologers and I'll read and watch and listen to and study what it is that they have to say about this specific moon, and create journal prompts out of them that I feel are really in alignment with the energy of the moon, of that specific moon, in this case of this Aquarius new moon. And I feel like this specific Aquarius new moon is really interesting and really special from what I've learned, because it's this blend of being in this transitional space where we feel like we're almost being initiated into a new beginning of our lives. And also feeling like there's still some letting go to do. There's still some things to cleanse, to really have a clean slate. Kind of like this underlying tone of like unfinished business. And so the prompts that I'm going to be sharing with you have that same blend energy, where some questions are going to really put you in that mental space of manifestation, and the other ones are going to help guide you towards understanding what space it is that you are coming from, what space you're currently in, what space you are moving on from, because I feel like it's really important to document these moments before a big transition, before a big transformation, before a big manifestation, before a big new beginning. Because once you're in that new life, in that new space, I feel like it's really important to be able to look back at something and know and remember what it is that you came from, and understand what mindset you were at the time. Given that I've been journaling my whole life, that's something that I like to do, is like, I operate currently at like a 6-month cycle when it comes to my manifestations and my relationship with the moon. So I also encourage you, when you are writing your manifestations for this specific new moon, that you Yes, dream big and be expansive and think long term, but help yourself make your manifestations more digestible and actionable and approachable by thinking about the next 6 months ahead specifically. You want to be very specific with your manifestations, and also with the answers and the reflections that you write down for these prompts. So, all of that said, this new moon is very, very special. And I know that you hear that about every new moon and every full moon, but this new moon has a very special Aquarian energy, Venus energy, that like is really in alignment with Valentine's Day, Jupiter energy, which is all about, Jupiter is all about expansion and abundance. So this new moon is really, really encouraging us to think about, the pleasures that we want to manifest in our life, really wanting us to incorporate beautiful, tender, sweet words into our journaling. So I'm going to encourage you to do that, to put yourself in this really sensual, loving space when you write your manifestations, and when you think about these reflections. Journey with grace, journey with compassion and self-love. I'm not going to get completely into what this new moon energy is all about, because you can turn to other actual astrologers who will explain this Aquarius new moon more eloquently and detailed than I would. But just know that the soil for this new moon is very, very, very fertile. So really step into this thinking like you want to be as intentional as possible with the seeds that you are planting, because those seeds are being planted in very fertile soil that probably has Miracle-Gro in it and is going to come into fruition, is going to become abundant, is going to bring you manifestation. So be very mindful, be very intentional, and be very excited. I feel like this is like the new moon that is here to really just kind of open the door and be like, all right, what are you gonna do stepping into this door? So all that being said, let's get into these journal prompts that are specifically for this Aquarius new moon. It's 8 prompts, and if you want to pause throughout the video, you can do that, or if you want to listen to it the whole way through and then reflect back on it, you can do that as well. Really do whatever you want. I just hope that you enjoy these journal prompts. And again, I am so honored to be a part of your new moon ritual, of your new moon journaling, of your reflections. Truly, truly, I am so honored. And if you are visiting this video in the future, way past this new moon in Aquarius, I would still nudge you to check out these prompts and see if you feel called towards any of them. It would also be very interesting to revisit this video 6 months from now with the new moon that is occurring that month. So yeah, this is an evergreen video, really truly, that has really good journal prompts. But if you're watching this right on time, it's probably meant for you. So let's get into it. Up to this point, what has had a hand in creating my identity? Up to this point, what has had a hand in creating my identity? I'm going to nudge you to think a little expansive on this, because there are so many different parts to our identity, right? Your identity as a daughter, your identity as a friend, your identity as a human, professionally, personally. Dive into all those different aspects of your identity when answering this question. And again, as I mentioned in the intro of this video, this is one of those questions where it's really here to help you reflect on where it is that you are right now, what it is that has had a hand in shaping the person that you are today. I think it's, again, very essential that we are aware of not only the direction we are headed towards, but also remember where it is that we're coming from. I do feel like this new moon, again, is very powerful, and the intentions that we set with this new moon has true potential to change our lives forever. That is why I am encouraging you to reflect on, up to this point, what has had a hand in creating your identity. And in answering this question too, it'll help you realize, like, what is even your identity? And furthermore, in what ways is your identity going to shift from here on out? So, up to this point, what has had a hand in creating my identity? Where do I feel drawn or called to direct my life towards? Where do I feel drawn to direct my life towards? Reflect on the direction of your life right now. Where are you headed? And to dive in deeper into that, are the actions that you are taking right now aligning you in that direction? In the direction of which you have felt called to go towards? In the direction towards the intentions and manifestations you are setting for this new moon? So put yourself in that position of looking at your path, looking at perhaps the multiple paths that may be available to you right now, and almost do like an energy reading with yourself and really tuning in and seeing which direction you really are feeling called towards. Because I feel, again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, this is a very interesting space of transition. We are always in transition. But I feel like a lot of us recently have felt like we're about to be initiated into a new beginning, a new life, a new path. So reflect on that. Journal on that a little deeper, and dive into this question of the direction you feel called to walk towards, to invest in, to grow in. In what ways does my higher self contribute goodness to the world? In what ways does my higher self contribute goodness to the world? This is a prompt that is encouraging you to think about how your purpose, how this direction you're headed towards uplifts the community around you, uplifts your loved ones, uplifts yourself and your spirit, uplifts the collective and the world. We are currently at a time where we feel very, very intuitively called to do more goodness. You may have felt recently like you want to give more. You want to give back. You want to contribute to your community. You want to volunteer. You want to help others. And it's not a coincidence. Ever since the end of December, when we had the Great Conjunction, we are currently experiencing a upliftment of the collective being shifted and vibrated in a way where we are reaching higher levels of vibration. We are aligning towards higher frequencies. We have more access to light energy, and the transits that have been taking place in the universe, all the astrological occurrences, the main events that we've seen in the past few months are really, really impacting us in ways that we are not aware of, like even in just our own bodies having to adjust to this new timeline in a sense. So all that to say, there's a reason why you feel called to give back. There's a reason why you feel called to contribute more goodness. So that is why I really wanted to incorporate this prompt, to encourage you to expand on that, to lean into that, and to really think about, what goodness you're going to be contributing as you step into this new beginning. So, in what ways does my higher self contribute goodness to the world? What have I recently felt called to reestablish a relationship with? What have I recently felt called to reestablish a relationship with? You can think of relationship in the sense of, your relationship with your family, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your friends, your relationship with your coworkers, your relationship with your community, your relationship with, oh man, we can get way more expansive with this. Your relationship with money, your relationship with healing, your relationship with your own traumas, your relationship with your emotions, your relationship with your passions, your relationship with your ideas. Be expansive when it comes to the word relationship, okay? Because I really want to encourage you to reflect on all the different relationships in your life that you have felt called to reconnect with, to rekindle with, to reestablish a serious relationship with, a committed relationship with? Have you felt called to be more committed to healing yourself, to, you know, your relationship with your self-love, with your self-healing? So be expansive when it comes to your perspective on relationships with this prompt, because in doing so, much can be revealed to you. If I were to manifest more soul level conversations in my life, what would they consist of? If I were to manifest more soul level conversations in my life, what would these conversations consist of? You may have felt really called, especially those who have currently been in solitude, who have currently kind of been in that cocoon of transformation. You may have really felt excited to connect with people that align with this new you, that align with your newfound level of awareness, that really speak to your soul and to your passions and bring more depth into your life. So because of that, you know, in thinking of this soul family, I wanted to bring kind of like a fun twist to thinking about them by thinking about the kinds of conversations you're going to have with them. What do they consist of? What kinds of things do you guys talk about? Be specific, be detailed. How do these conversations make you feel? Where do these conversations take place? You know, like there's different ways that you can expand on this prompt, but I'm really excited about this one, and I'm excited to dive into this question myself and just kind of daydream and think about the conversations I'll be having with my soul family, and how good and safe and pure and uplifting these conversations are going to be, and all the things that we're going to talk about and teach each other. So this is a beautiful question. I hope that you enjoy it. How do I currently define beauty? How do I currently define beauty? The simple fact that this new moon shares the same week as Valentine's Day, and there's very much so Venus energy present, is bringing in this aspect of love and amplifying passion and sensuality and beauty and sweetness and purity and sincerity. So I want to get you in that mindset of thinking about beauty, of thinking about love, of thinking about passion and sweetness, and yeah, just really thinking about beauty. So how do you currently define beauty? What does beauty look like to you? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And maybe what does it smell like? What does it taste like? Yeah, how do you currently define beauty? And And do you think, in answering this question, do you think that your definition of beauty is going to shift in this new beginning? Do you want it to shift? Do you want it to change? Do you want your perspective of beauty to change? That's also something to confront yourself about when you're answering this prompt. So, on the tip of, this being a very potent week to manifest with this new moon, if you feel unsatisfied with how you currently define beauty, put yourself in the shoes of your future self, of your higher self, and then answer and journal this prompt from that perspective, from the perspective of your higher self. And that's something that you can do with all of these prompts, is like, there's the perspective you have now, and then there's the perspective of your higher self, and there's also a perspective of your past self. So keep all of that in mind as you answer these questions, and know that all of these questions I designed with the intention of diving deeper into all that you currently are and all that you aspire to be and will become via these new moon intentions. This is one of my favorites that I created out of this bunch. If aligning anything I wanted to prosperity were my superpower, what would I make prosperous in my life? If aligning anything I wanted to prosperity were my superpower, what would I make prosperous in my life? If your superpower were the ability to make anything prosperous, what would you make prosperous in your life? I feel like this is a very beautiful journal prompt for various reasons. One, because you low-key do have that superpower, and I want you to step into the mindset of that. And also, I feel like it's a fun way to think about what it is that you want to manifest. So I hope you have fun answering this question. Feel free to imagine yourself in a cape while you're answering it. But, what do you want to make prosper in your life? And, don't just think about money. Don't just think about your career. Obviously, yeah, I do encourage you to include that because it is important that you feel fulfilled in all areas of your life. But with that in mind, think about all the various little and big things that you can make prosperous in your life. Like, do you want all your houseplants to be flourishing and prosperous? Do you want all the conversations that take place in your life to bring you prosperity? There's just so many ways that you can answer this question and make prosper. So have fun with this one. I am following up the previous question of prosperity with this question, this last question, this last journal prompt. Because, well, I'll tell you why after I tell you what the prompt is. What are some of my current favorite ideas that I have? What are some of my current favorite ideas that I have? And follow up that prompt with asking yourself why they are your favorite. If you're someone who has so many ideas and you love all of them and they're all your favorite, I'm going to nudge you to take a few deep breaths, center yourself, get to yourself to a meditative space where you are not being engulfed by your ideas. You are more so the observer of all the ideas, the beautiful ideas that you have in your mind, and picking the top three. The three that perhaps are the first to come to your mind, the three that you feel most passionate about, the three that you feel you can see yourself really investing time and energy towards. And maybe in answering why they're your favorite, you'll discover new favorites, or you'll discover even more passion for that idea. And the reason why I'm following up the prosperity question, with this prompt, is because now that you're in this mindset of prosperity and making things prosperous, I want to take advantage of that mindset, of that headspace, and get you to be thinking about your ideas and diving further into them. I feel like a lot of the times we don't give, especially if you're someone who hasn't invested in many of your ideas yet, perhaps out of fear. I feel like many people are easy to dismiss ideas. They'll get an idea and then they'll dismiss it. But a lot of the times, sometimes the blessing that you are asking for, the sign that you are waiting for, is actually the idea that popped into your mind the other day. That could be the idea that brings you the prosperity that you seek. That could be the idea that brings you towards more healing. That could be the idea that aligns you with your life partner. So this prompt is here to help you hold space for your ideas and dive into them a little further by asking yourself why they're your favorite. And in writing down your why, that is going to be something you're going to be very grateful to look back on. And that, my friends, are the 8 journal prompts for your new moon ritual, for your new moon journaling, for your new moon reflections and manifestations. I hope that these prompts offered you a new perspective on understanding this new moon in Aquarius energy. I hope that they brought you some much needed guidance in your reflections. And again, I am so honored to share these with you. I'm so honored to even possibly be a part of your ritual and your thoughts and your reflections and your journaling. Journaling is just so special to me, and I feel like to be a part of someone else's journaling experience is just melts my heart. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video and you're new here, please click subscribe if you want more of this content in your life. And if you feel like someone in your life may benefit from this video, spread the love, share the video with them. And I don't know, maybe watch this video with some of your friends over Zoom and maybe journal together. That would be really fun. But I hope you'll have a really beautiful new moon. Again, the soil is very fertile. Be very intentional with the seeds that you plant. And be very excited. Dream big. Believe in yourself. And know that the universe is always on your side, always wants you to manifest heaven on earth. So, blessings from me to you and yours, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.